Omaha's news leader. This is KETV Newswatch 7's Chronicle.
And thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Rob McCartney. A major change is coming in Douglas County election leadership. After a decade of overseeing elections, both local and national, in Douglas County, Election Commissioner Brian Cruz is stepping down. This morning, I'm going to be speaking with him about what led to his decision, the shifting election trends he's seen during his tenure, and his thoughts on where the commissioner's office goes from here. Also, what are the qualities he believes his successor should have? Plus, we're going to talk about some of the behind-the-scenes pressures and challenges that come with overseeing elections, including moments maybe that the public never sees. First, Chronicle's Pete Cuddy filed this report when Cruz made his announcement to leave.
Pretty soon, there will be a new name greeting you when you walk in the Douglas County Election Commission.
It's bittersweet. There's some sadness, but, there's also a new dawn.
Brian Cruz was made election commissioner back in 2016. Nearly 10 years later, he says it's time for someone new.
I think it surprised everyone.
Deputy Election Commissioner Chris Carithers has been Cruz's right-hand man through it all.
He's just been a marvel to work with.
It's 10 years of work that Cruz is proud of, from keeping neighborhood polling places running during COVID.
We adapted, the voters adapted, the poll workers adapted.
To adding 13 drop boxes in Douglas County, encouraging mail-in voting.
When I started here, by mail election was probably 19%. We're at 50% by mail election now.
Now Cruz looks ahead at a new but familiar challenge.
I'm going to continue serving the citizens of Omaha, just in a different capacity.
Returning to his old line of work, accepting a job as a general manager at Forest Lawn Cemetery.
When a funeral director got appointed, you were probably all thinking, good Lord, what is going on here? What is going to happen? And I said, you're probably thinking the same thing 10 years later. Good Lord, he's leaving to go back to the funeral business.
With Cruz stepping aside, he left this advice for the next election commissioner.
Sometimes it's going to be hard to do the right thing, but always be transparent. Always do what's best for the voters of Douglas County.
He leaves the position proud of what his staff was able to accomplish and grateful for the opportunity to serve.
Thank you to the voters of Douglas County. And thank you to everybody who's put their trust in me the last 10 years.
And joining me now in the studio is Election Commissioner Brian Cruz. Brian, thanks so much. Congratulations on the announcement.
Well, thank you, and thanks for having me. It's been fun over the years.
and 10 years ago, when we first had you on, I did not think, oh my gosh, what is the funeral guy doing in the election business? But I do want to ask you, why go back into the funeral business?
I really wasn't looking to leave.
Okay.
Honestly, Forest Lawn contacted me, their general manager, who's also a friend of mine, is retiring.
Ah, okay.
And so he said, hey, would you be interested in coming back? I said, no, and a couple times. Then they said, oh, why don't you at least talk to us? And so I had some conversations. There's 4 or 5 staff members up there that I've worked with in the past.
Oh, nice, okay.
At past mortuaries and cemeteries. So, it's good quality people. I knew some of them. And I thought after 3 presidential elections and a decade of public service, I'd give somebody else a shot.
Nice way to put that. Is there anything that you learned in the funeral business that translated over to the election commissioner's office?
Well, that was one of the things when Governor Ricketts interviewed me. As you can well imagine, one of his first questions, if not the first question, was, why should I hire a funeral director to be an election commissioner?
Right.
And to paraphrase, I basically said, well, I have great relationships with all parts of the city, North Omaha, South Omaha, Mellard, all across the county. And I also said, in some respects, elections or funerals are kind of like each other. You only get a few shots to do it. You better do it right the first time, because there's no redos.
May not be. So let's talk about some of the recent. Let's talk about some of the recent elections. First, the presidential race last November. How did that go for your team?
It went amazingly well. I will say we've got a well-oiled machine over there. Mm-hmm. The staff is great. The temp staff is great. The thing that was probably the craziest for me was last time more than ever they talked about the blue dot and this possibly coming down to the one electoral vote here leading up to it. I mean, we had international media. We had media here from Switzerland and France and national media. You know, one Saturday, early voting, we had Fox national correspondents there. Your ABC affiliates were talking to me.
Yeah, we were talking about it too.
Yeah.
Because it was a real thing. I mean, the Blue Dot.
Absolutely. So, you know, the last election went very smoothly.
Okay.
We had no major problems. In fact, we really had no minor problems, honestly. And it was really the first big election with voter ID.
Oh, right.
But we had done it in the primary. But, you know, that's a tribute to the voters of Douglas County and Nebraskans in general. They're good, smart people that can adapt.
Can adapt, right. In May, Omaha had a city election. How did that go?
You know, the city elections went very smoothly. I think a lot of people were maybe a little surprised by the outcome, both in the primary and the general. Maybe, I don't know, but they went very smoothly.
I'm curious. I mean, is running a city election different than running a state election or presidential?
It's definitely a lower voter turnout.
Right.
So yes, there's a lot less hours. The stress level is generally less.
Sure.
And, you know, we really don't work many nights and weekends.
Turnout is usually pretty good for presidential. Well, can be pretty good. It's usually bigger for presidential races, as you mentioned. Why is that? I mean, don't people realize that local voting is important?
Well, right. So in the last presidential last November, we had 76%, almost 76% turnout, which is the highest we've ever had since I've been there. So I'm proud of that fact. We're getting more folks out to vote, which is great. You know, I think a big part of it is because you've got all the national media. Again, our one electoral vote here, plus we have Iowa right next door with the Iowa caucuses.
Right.
And, you know, the candidates come here or they come to Iowa, they spend a lot of money here. You know, our congressional seat is always contested. Since I've been there, it's always come down to 1 or 2 or 3 percentage points, you know, and we usually have to wait until, well, 2 or 3 in the morning, sometimes 5 in the morning to see who won.
Well, yeah, and that reminds me, I mean, you told me one time that kind of a bad word for you is recount.
Oh boy.
Because you don't even, you know, jinx it, right? I mean,
exactly. My deputy and I always said our philosophy was, we don't care who wins. We just hope they win by enough. We don't have to do a recount.
I understand. All right, well, stick around because next year on KETV News Watch 7's Chronicle, we're going to be talking ballot integrity and security. I'll get to take you on an exclusive tour of the Election Commission office, the military-grade security from a high-def surveillance system, lock boxes, verifying machines. An inside look is next.